Welcome to Black Wealth Weekly podcast, where you can find different guests being interviewed by me, Shaniqua Nicole, the Millennial Money Maven, every single week, where we will be breaking down how they got into their respective industries and are creating wealth for their families. You don't want to miss an episode, so hit the bell and tune in. What's up, guys? This is Shaniqua Nicole, the Millennial Money Maven, with this week's episode of Black Wealth Weekly. I am joined here today by my brother, Cash. He is a serial entrepreneur, mogul, restaurateur here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm just super excited to have you here. What's up, King?
Thank you. What's going on, man? I'm proud of what you're doing. Listen, Black Wealth Magazine. I was out there at your event. I'm proud of you. You know, we met like about a year ago now. Yeah, so I just want to give you your flowers. I always tell people, you're doing your thing. I'm proud of you, and that's why I'm here, because I'm coming to support. So I appreciate you having me here.
Absolutely.
Yes, I'm here for you. Let's go.
I appreciate it. Yes, y'all know what's so crazy? I met this king on Instagram.
Yeah.
So the power of social media is super real, but what you have to learn how to do is facilitate and maneuver through the noise.
Yeah.
But met Cash, he's been super honorable dude, 100% real ever since I met him, and we've just been building from there, but more so inspired by all the stuff that you got going on. So I just know I'll be seeing you on Instagram talking about 28 units and new restaurants opening and all of these things.
Yes, yes.
And how young are you?
I'm 38 years old.
38?
38.
Yeah.
38,
Listen, so talk to me about how you got here today. You're 38, you own multiple restaurants, so much real estate, and just killing it. Please explain to us how you started.
So first of all, the reason I am doing what I'm doing, I tell a lot of people, when they talk about these accomplishments, I've been working since I was 18 years old. I came to Atlanta in 2004, so my background, I'm from Jersey City. We from the same state. You about close to Philly, but I'm right next to New York City. So, coming from Jersey City, 2004, product of my environment, of course, come from living in an apartment, 7 siblings, 5 brothers and sisters, two parents living in a 2-bedroom apartment. So, not coming from the rich family background, not big houses and mansions. Jersey City, if you're familiar with Jersey City, either you got it or you don't. And when you don't got it, you just live in check to check. And that's why I was great. I raised in an area, poverty area. Projects right on the corner. So I went to school, public school. Got into a little trouble when I turned 18. I waited. I don't know how I did that. Just turned 18 and got in your
first trouble.
Yeah, first in a big trouble. So it wasn't like a trouble like, all right, go ahead.
You can't run from that trouble.
Nah, they told me my lawyer suggested. Luckily, my father took out. Rest in peace, my dad. He took out a loan actually for my tuition at the time. You could get a loan, of course. They'll give you a loan. It was for my tuition for school, but I ended up using that to my lawyer. So, shout out to him. He helped me with the lawyer, of course, got me out of that little situation. My lawyer suggested, listen, you need to get out of here. While we fighting this charge, you need to just figure your life out. You need to really make decisions in your life. So, shout out to my lawyer. Like I said, he definitely looked out. I moved to Atlanta. I was coming to Clark, Atlanta. That's the only university I applied for. I'm not your sharpest A student. I wasn't the sharpest, like the honor roll. I wasn't none of that. I just was a hustler.
Right.
So Clark accepted me, and I came down here in a sense hoping that I would change, my life and my ways that I was dealing with at the time. So going back and forth, Clark, I was, of course, now I'm going to court back and forth. And even at this time, I'm not sure whether I'm going to jail or I'm going to be really just be out here. So long story short, they ended up giving me probation, and I ended up taking 8-year probation, and I transferred my probation from Jersey City to Atlanta because I was living in Atlanta.
8-year probation.
Yes.
So what does 8 years probation do to you as an 18-year-old kid?
Honestly, I think that was one of the best things that happened to me in my life. Because if that didn't happen, I would be probably either incarcerated, probably dead, or be in the situations that I probably couldn't get out from. So 8-year probation just gave me discipline. That's what it did. It just kind of put me in the system. And I don't suggest that for y'all. I'm not telling you this is what you need to be going through felony.
Right.
But my blessing was coming from the city, fast city, coming from a fast, slick, hustling mentality. When I came to Atlanta was like a new ground, you know. It's like coming playing basketball like an all-star, you know. You just don't go to practice, but when you get in the court, you just nice.
Right.
So that's what Atlanta did for me. I just came to a ground like, oh, whoa. So I started at Valet Lennox Mall because my probation officer suggested that. Of course, then I had to pay for bills too because my family didn't have no support for me at the time because, you know, they didn't even want me to leave. But I ended up getting an apartment and I was working in Lennox and I met a lot of people, you know, and you know, of course, coming from up top, I was a hustler when I was young. I sold candy at 13 in New York City. I had 4 employees when I was 13 years old. Like, I had a candy operation. Like, I was selling M&M, box of M&M, getting it for BJ's for $34. We used to sell our box for $250.
Wow.
So my mentality was always a hustler, you know?
Right.
So because, of course, not being a felon, I knew I was going to get a job. So working in Lennox Mall, I met a couple of people. At the time, of course, real estate was amazing in Atlanta, like 2004. If you knew about Atlanta's music industry or real estate, like that was, or even businesses. But those fields, you know, attracted me. And I met a lot of people that was felons, that was like me, looked like me. They was from the cities in New York, and DC. They was all doing real estate, and they was very successful. Benzes, Roses, and all that. I'm watching Valet 18. I'm like, I'm inspired.
Right.
So I met a good friend of mine that I'm considered a friend because he helped me to do my first real estate project. Rodney, he helped me out. Ended up telling me, listen, you don't need nothing but a 600 credit score, and you need like maybe $3,000 to $4,000 down payment. And he had projects.
The golden days.
The golden days. I can't even explain y'all. Y'all, you listen. Y'all talking about getting money is cool, but the money we talking about. My first deal, I bought it for I think 90, and I got it fixed for 10, and I sold it for 180.
Wow.
So my first deal at that age, going on 19, was almost $80,000 profit.
Wow. And you know, I just actually read a statistic that said the average flip makes about $40,000.
That's right.
Today,
yeah. Average flip, and then, mind you, we talking about 100, buy it for 90, fix it for 10, to sell it for 180. Right now, you gotta buy 300. Fix it for 200 and get 580, 600, like maybe, you know, maybe
those are literally like the numbers I'm working with right now on this project.
You can't find no other numbers like that other than if, you know, you go bounce back and go to different cities, and that's the next thing I'm you know, we're going to tap into a little later. But that time when I did real estate, it just kind of, you know, like I said, you showed me something one time, I'm a hustler, and I've always been the best in my around my peers. I'm a competitor. I'm competitive. I like competition. I like success. You know, even when I was younger, because I was selling candies because I had no choice. It's because I didn't have no clothes. I used to go to school, and I'm like, yo, I can't look like this.
Right.
I know I'm fly inside right here, so I had to sell candies. And I was the best dressed. You know, in high school, I won that. And to be coming from high school I come from, it was like a accomplishment to me. So if I did it for that, for my clothes, I know when I get to Atlanta and I'm on probation, I wasn't running around and, you know, with college parties with everybody else. I'm going to these other parties, you know, Vision Lounge, 112. If you're familiar with Atlanta, you know, these are the places that I didn't even have an idea at the time. But because I knew people at Valet Lennox, they gave me, you know, passes, you know, VIP bands, and so I would go to the best party. I'd be around amongst the people like the who's, you know, then. So it just inspired me, and you know, real estate did good. I ran the bag up. I made my first $1 million in real estate. And I spent the money in real estate, and I blew the money in real estate era. And, you know, Cash came from, Salim is my real name, but Cash was, you know, born in real estate era, you know. And so I built the brand, of course, because when I was spending money, just like everybody do now, you know, when you got money, now you got to show your wealth. And it's not just for yourself, it's also, this is what people respect, you know. You look like money, you can make money. That's just how it goes. I don't know where it came from, but that's just what it is. Like, this is the society we live in.
Yeah.
You got to look like money. So, you know, 2008, real estate crashed, of course. Recession, real recession. You know, they're talking about this recession right now. I don't know what's going on, but I know I went through a recession.
Listen, don't nobody know. All entrepreneurs like, what recession?
Yeah, nah. I mean, they're not going to feel it, but then, of course.
It's going to slow down soon, but.
Yeah, you know, like I said, that's a different politic conversation. You know, I try to tell people I don't think it's never going to be something like 2008. You know what I'm saying? It may be a recession before. Yeah, with real estate.
Because it was real estate. It was institutional.
It was institutional.
Right now, the people are going to be feeling it, but 2008 was institutional. It was the banks. It was the whole real estate market.
It was worldwide too.
Yeah, it was worldwide. It was just a whole bubble.
Yeah, bubble. So I was more upset that I didn't have no mentor at the time. I was upset that the money I was making, if I had someone to just guide me and teach me, like, hey, listen, You making 150 a month. You don't gotta spend 100.
Right.
You know, you could be just take it easy, slow down. So that was like, you know, some of the things
Wow.
that
And
I
living
learned.
in the South, making that kind of money.
Man, listen, I ain't gonna lie to you. You couldn't tell me nothing.
Right.
Nothing. I'm coming from. It was a different lifestyle, you know. And then, you know, I experienced a lot of things in early age. You know, I done traveled the countries. I went to Dubai. I went to London, Greek. I went to Turkey. I've been to places. So I spend money on things that I really loved.
Right.
So but you know, I just didn't have the guidance and the mentorship to have someone tell me, listen, you need to save this money because something can happen. You never know. Or invest. I didn't invest in nothing else. Real estate was my only income.
Right.
So
So how did 2008 treat you when real estate came crashing?
Depressed. You know, I was just trying to figure it out. How I just went from coming from a felony probation to being here and have an opportunity to become a millionaire because I was on my way, you know. It just gave me time to sit back and think. Because it was for everybody too, because recession happened, everybody was broke.
Yeah.
Some people killed themselves. I know 2 people that committed suicide.
Wow.
I know 2 people that I knew that I didn't know personally, but I know I've done business with them.
Yeah.
And then some people just left. Most of the people just disappeared out of Atlanta. So, I mean, it just gave me a time to just sit back and think about what I'm gonna do next because I was still so young.
Right.
You know, I was in my blessing, like I said, because if I didn't go through that process, if I didn't take the L's and turn into my W's now, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now. So it was a good trial and error position for me. And I mean, you know, this experience is the best teacher.
That's what they say.
Yeah, so I think, you know, that's what I needed to do. That was my going to school at the time. And
Right.
I also dropped out of college too at the time. I was mad about that. Of course, when I was doing real estate, I'm like, man, I ain't going to college.
Making too much money.
Man, I was listening. I'm pulling up in Clark Atlanta, Benzes, different Benz, different days, you know, jewelry, just have about $10,000-$15,000 cash in my pocket. Like, it was ridiculous. It was an ignorance. So my
So
professor,
you didn't finish college.
dropped out. I got like a year and a half left. I don't know, you know. But what I did, I definitely learned what I needed to learn from school too at the time.
Which was what? What was the biggest lesson you learned from college?
Not to own no tuition.
Not to owe tuition?
Not to owe tuition. That was my lesson. Because at the time, I was still paying out of pocket. And then if I kept going to college, and then you got to think about it for me, unfortunately, I was a felon. So I know I wasn't going to go get a career job. I'm not about to be no CPA. I'm not about to be whatever. At the time, I was thinking about.
And
so
you probably couldn't get financial aid at that time, huh?
I didn't.
Federal financial aid.
I didn't.
Because you were a felon, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. And then plus, you know, it just I wasn't thinking like. Then housing, I stayed out of school. From the beginning, when I came to Atlanta, I was at Clark, hopefully to get a room over there at the Heritage
On campus,
but it just didn't work out. So,
Gotcha.
So you know, it was that. But I think that was good for me to go through that process. And then, you know, college, that's not for everybody. It's not for me. I'm not gonna lie. That's why I don't know. It's not for me. You know what I'm saying? I just
Listen, college is not for everybody,
Yeah.
and that's okay. Let me ask you this: are you going to encourage your boys to go to college?
Of course. And you know what's crazy? I'm always encourage everyone around me. Like even now I'm the youngest. I'm the baby, and I'm the only dropout. Everybody else, my sister's a doctor.
Okay.
You know, my dad, shout out to him, like I said, rested. So he was one of the most amazing men, and he worked very hard. And by the time he was about to retire, he passed away. So he didn't really get to enjoy us. You know, he didn't get to enjoy the time that we wanted to give him.
I'm sorry to hear that. How old was he?
He was 58. And he died of
He was
cancer.
very young.
Yeah, he was young.
Oh,
he was
wow.
young. Yeah, so I was really like disappointed by that too. That's why I spend so much time with my kids now. That's why I'm like, I'm not gonna work hard to kill myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna enjoy my time with my kids. And so when my kids see me, like, you know, they already know like, this is what the life's supposed to look like.
Right.
That's why I go hard for real. So then that was that for me at the time, you know. But everybody else educated, it's just me. But guess what? My sister still owes tuition right now. She had like $180,000. Trust me. And you know, she's a doctor, but
Well, this is what I tell the student loan people: y'all can take this little check and catch me at another time.
yeah, catch for real, yeah, because it's some flips going on.
Listen.
But yeah, you just gotta see what works for you. There's, you know, school, education system, it works, and I'm not saying if I had a chance to do it over, I would finish. I probably would have finished. But, you know, my circumstances at the time was like, nah, I'm an entrepreneur. I was an entrepreneur when I was 13.
Right.
So I just know I was going to be a businessman.
You just knew.
Yeah.
Exactly. So after 2008, you had your chance to cool off a little bit. How did you reinvent yourself after the biggest crash of most of our lifetimes?
My lifetime, for sure. I built a brand. cash was already born. And when I built the brand, I realized it didn't matter if I sold real estate or if I sold anything. I'm still gonna be able to sell something. So I actually picked up a hair plug from India that I met in 2008 in Dubai, when I was out there kicking in Dubai.
Wow.
And I was on the first class in Emirates, UAE, Emirates Airline.
Yeah.
The guy sat next to me and I sat down for like 3 hours to be and speak, but the fourth hour we just started talking. We flew from New York. And then you just telling me about this hair industry. And I'm like, oh, cool, whatever, you know.
Right.
But not knowing that, okay, he
This
gave me
gonna be
business
my
card.
plug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a year go by, like I said, after recession, it just was like, yo, let me figure something out. And it was just, you know, I had long hair, like got good hair. So women always like, yeah, you got some good hair. And I'm like, So one of my friends was a salon owner, and then at the time it was one of the best salons in Peter Street. And she like, man, you know, I'm looking for some hair. And I'm like, yo, I got someone I met, and I got his card. She's like, man, you look like the plug, so you need to find out how can we get this Indian hair. So the Indian hair at the time was like, it was coming from India, from temples. People used to cut their hair for religious purposes, but they were selling their hair to London, different countries, and you know they would make wigs and high-end, you know, wigs.
Weaves.
Yeah, exactly,
Wigs
wigs.
and
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big industry. It's a $1 billion industry. Still a $1 billion industry. And I tapped in, and when I got the first batch of hair, I didn't even have the money to order. Is one of my homegirls, she gave me an American Express card to use, and then I ordered $5,500 worth of hair. And the minute when I say it got here, because I had samples before sent to me, it was small samples cut up. It wasn't like the full bundle. But when they sent me the first batch, literally the day I had it, I went to 2 salons. Everybody cashed out. It was gone. Yeah. And then right after that, I met the lady from Bronner Brothers, Miss Harriet Pitt. I was gonna get a booth over there, and then I got a booth, and they actually gave me a free booth with Bronner Brother, and they also ordered their first batch of hair because they used to have a location at the West End.
Wow.
Because of the relationships and, you know, just my mouthpiece and me being a businessman.
Right.
So they gave me my first check from them was like $10,000 order, first order. So I started, you know, tapping in and got my money
Playmaker
back.
from day one.
Yeah, definitely. I done made some plays with no delays. That's one thing I ain't did. I ain't made no delays for sure. So that was like a good introduction for the hair industry. And it got a little saturated right after that, because when I started, you know, Atlanta's like a
Atlanta's a hub
city.
for everything.
They would copy you too quick to Atlanta. Like, you tell them I'm about to sell this Coca-Cola cans, they gonna be like, man, let me get them. But yeah, it was they started selling Chinese hair. So it just like I was off of it, and then I did it for the money at the time. I wasn't passionate about no hair, so then I got plugged back with the cars. So how real estate was slowed down still, it was like kind of coming, it was like you ain't had cash, don't even worry about real estate. But cars was the next closest industry that I could sell a car and get a check the same day, 2-3 grand, you know.
Right.
So I'm like, shit, I could sell 5 cars a day. You know what I'm saying? I could sell it to people I know.
Right.
So I started dealing with cars, but interested, instead of selling cars, I was leasing cars. I was getting vehicles from people that have, you know, good credit. They will get cars.
Yep.
See how they're doing Airbnb right now? I mean, Turo right now. Yeah. My Turo, before I started Turo before Turo.
Listen, we be having them $1 billion ideas and don't even, just so busy moving, doing the work.
Doing the work, yeah.
Right. This week's episode is sponsored by ABCs for Rich Kids by 7-year-old author and entrepreneur Bryce Nicholas. Please tell us where we can find your book.
abcsforrichkids.com.
Awesome. This book is so amazing, guys. It literally goes from A to Z with different financial terms for your little loved ones. Awesome. So we've got F is for future value. E is for evaluation. H is for air. Guys, if you do not have this book, the Amazon #1 bestseller, please go and grab it now at abcsforrichkids.com.
So, and this is a fact, everybody know me. That's what I said, people know me for different things. People know me from real estate, people know me for hair, and people know me for cars. But cars too, when I was doing the leasing, let's just say if you had good credit, you got like 4 cars, then you don't need 4 cars, you only need 1.
Right.
I'll find 3 other people that give you the down payment, 20%, 25% down payment, and they're still like kind of leasing it from us now. So it stayed the same, still on the loan, you still keeping the loan, and if they mess up, you get the car back. And
how do I protect myself as the owner?
We had some trackers and stuff, same thing. We had tracking devices.
Back then, gotcha.
Yeah, the trackers is always around.
And so insurance, commercial insurance.
Commercial insurance. So then at the time,
so you had your own So you were actually leasing cars.
I'm my own bank. I was like a buy here, pay here.
Yeah.
For high-end cars though.
Right.
You know, because they wasn't doing it nowhere. So and I got put on with the Russian dude. Russian dude put me on. He was crazy as hell, but he put me on. He showed me the business and you know, shout out to him, man. You know, he definitely put me on with that business. But once again, I had to do the work because I had the network and I had the people.
Yeah.
So you know,
just got to connect the dots.
Yeah, I was connecting the dots. So I was
love
connecting
it.
the dots. So I mean, you know, since cars, then I just kept going. And fast forward, I went to 2016. I had enough money, like you know, I was making so like let me go ahead and get into restaurant industry. So that's why I started a restaurant, my first restaurant in 2016. And I failed on that too, because I didn't have no knowledge about a restaurant. You know, I just wanted to own a restaurant because I was like, yo, I want to have an office. I want to have people come to my place and eat. So started a restaurant with my boy Sharif. He was the manager at 255. Peter Street was like a block. People still probably go over there. He had a couple of restaurants. But he went to school, he went to Clark, and then he also, to me, looked like he was a great manager. Mm-hmm. But he wasn't a great partner, and he wasn't a great owner. He just was a great manager. So there's a difference with y'all. Some of y'all are real talented, right? Stick with what you do. It's okay, because I didn't stick with what I did. I was a great investor, but I was not a great partner because I didn't know the understanding of the business. So I put up some money, and we never got to like really open the business up. And we rode through the time. A year went by, and then he was trying to figure it out. The kitchen was never properly open because he didn't follow the guidelines, and he was cutting corners, and I never was involved. I was watching from outside, but I was like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Why we not getting this done?
Right.
So he just didn't follow the protocol and follow the procedure and the proper step, because it's like building a building, you know. You can't go build a roof before you could build the foundation.
Exactly.
You got to start off the right steps. So lost the first business. I was a little discouraged on that, but I still was, of course, doing the car thing. I never let the car thing go because that was like, it's like my side hustle. But that's what I make my money on.
Right.
Just selling cars alone. I got a great relationship with the dealership at Dodge Pomeranian. So if anybody wanted to buy a vehicle, I could just send it to them. You know what I'm saying? And they just cut me my check. I don't got to be there. And they cut me my check from their pocket. So they don't charge the customer. So I don't have to, like the customers don't get charged. I charge the dealership because it's my customer. So that's like
That's a little side hustle.
My side hustle.
A little affiliate. It's like affiliate income.
So affiliate link made like 60 grand last month. Yeah. Yeah, affiliate
So
link for sure.
how do you start those kind of relationships?
Just do good business. Just do what you say what you do, and make sure that you facilitate the right service, and make sure people feel comfortable when you, especially, you know, you're dealing with real estate, high-end industry, you know, you got to deal with the top tier people. You're dealing with hair industry, top tier hair. You talking about best salons in the city, like the who's who salons. You got to give them what they're asking for. I can't go to these places and say, hey, I'm trying to get you a Lambo, but I take you to a Honda dealership. You can't. You got to give them what they're looking for. And,
Exactly.
And once you give them the services and you do what you say you do, and connect the dots, and you know, relationship plays more about relationships, and building relationships is not. You can't buy relationships. You got to build relationships. So I always, main thing, like if I meet somebody today, like if I met your engineer, if we gonna lock in, we gonna lock in like for a long time. You're not just like, you know, with us, you know, you be working together. You know, I like locking relationships for life. That's what I believe in.
I love it.
So you can't burn bridges.
Right.
Can't burn bridges. Don't
Can't
be
burn
thirsty.
bridges.
Don't be
Listen,
thirsty.
bridges will allow money to flow forever.
Yeah. You got to walk back to that bridge sometime too. So you can't burn it and like, I'm going to go back. No. I got a long-ass text message from someone that did some bullshit last year. And I read it, and I appreciated that they acknowledged the bullshit. But you can't come back.
Right.
It's a wrap.
When you burn a bridge, that's what happens. You can't come back once a bridge is burned.
Yes.
So you said 60,000 last month just off of affiliate
Just brokerage.
income.
Yeah.
So I love that idea. Now, outside of your affiliate income, what are you doing on a day-to-day basis? What's Cash spending most of his time these days?
Honestly, for right now, I'm really just building. I'm working on projects. Like I'm working on my next restaurant. So from the first restaurant that I lost, I went right into a takeout restaurant. So for y'all, if you want to open up a business, if you want to open a restaurant, you don't have to go a full-fledged restaurant like I did. You could start off as a takeout. Forget even takeout. You could do a ghost kitchen. A ghost kitchen is a space right now available that I'm actually helping a lot with y'all. If y'all need some help, I'll guide you, coach you. Ghost kitchen is a space that you could rent. You do only Uber deliveries, Uber Eats, Grubhub, and all these delivery services. But you don't have no overhead because you only pay rent. You can still make the money, learn, understand what your cost is, what you're spending, what your margins, profit margins are. So you can start off with a takeout, a ghost kitchen, takeout, and food truck. Food truck's doing pretty good. So you don't have to jump in. I suggest everybody, don't jump into just because you see me or someone else doing it. Even if you got money, don't jump into it right away. Start off slow, understand the business, then grow. So I went to.
How much, let me ask you this, how much does it take to start like a small takeout restaurant or on the small end, how much do you need, investment capital to start
So
a decent restaurant?
the trick to business, to a restaurant in general is an existing location space. If you're getting a takeout or even if you're getting a full kitchen, a full restaurant, a bar, lounge, the key is to find grease trap, the hood. Those two things is the most expensive that you have to invest in if you went to a regular empty space like this, and if you wanted to put a kitchen. So you're talking about $70,000, $80,000 off rip that you don't have to spend. So for sure, if you want to think smart and do it the right way, find an existing, I don't care if it's a Subway, a takeout restaurant was before, a wing spot, the Chinese spot, whatever. Because my seafood restaurant that I went into used to be a Chinese spot, so it had a wok set up. The wok was like, the wok thing, like,
Yeah.
I'm cooking seafood. I ran my operations from that restaurant then. So takeout I went from losing my first lounge, not known, to still, man, I still could do it. Finding a better location that already had kitchen, grease trap, and a wok setup. So, of course, the only thing I had to do is go pay for the rent. Lease first month, last month. And of course, modifications, you got to change this, put the logos, put the signs, make it look good, comfortable, put the floors,
Put
make
your
it look like
flavor on
this.
it.
Yeah, you got to put swag in it because it's that brand. It's like you say, relationship.
Right.
I don't want nobody to come to my spot look like it's in the hood.
Right.
Even though my spot was in the hood, but my spot looked like it wasn't in the hood.
So was location important?
Always. Location is the first step to success in restaurant industry. If you have a foot traffic, that was the location that I had, is right across the street from 700 apartments. It's apartments that people walk across the street, and it's in a gas station. It's another key, 2 keys. Gas station and apartment complex, y'all. 2 pluses that I had. So when I off-rip opened up, I had foot traffic. But another kicker, if you open up a business, you gotta give away, give up. You gotta give what they say, your good deeds. I did a free food giveaway for my grand opening. So I purchased enough food. I had volunteered, call some of my people, yo, come on, we doing a free food giveaway.
Right.
I had the whole staff came, I had people that was already cooking, there was cooks. So we brought the community.
So you had to let them sample the Blue Magic first.
That's what we did. We gave them the Blue Magic sample in the hood. And when I say we had the lieutenant for the DeKalb County came out, we had kids came out, we had the magic show, we gave them the free haircuts. We did everything, free book bags. We went in and did the event for the community. So I'm a new face to that community. So when I did that, they loved me from day one.
Right.
And then, of course, another technique, another cheat code that I would say marketing look. One of my homeboys, Scrap Delion, shout out to my boy, he was incarcerated. He was on Love and Hip Hop. So when he got out of jail, I was like, he had a restaurant before too that failed. So I'm like, yo, you coming out of jail. I know you're trying to do something positive, and you got kids and stuff. So he's like, yo, I want an opportunity. So I gave him a percentage. Me and him worked out a percentage. He went back on Love and Hip Hop. So it gave his brand a up, and it gave my restaurant a up. So we go from doing our spot in the hood, now we nationwide. We damn near 8 million people, viewers, that we watching the restaurant on TV. So that restaurant went crazy. That was a seafood spot. And that same restaurant, after that, I ended up jumping into Spice House Midtown, which is, of course, y'all already know what's going on Spice House Midtown. So, but I didn't let that restaurant go. I shut it down at the end of the pandemic because I made the money in pandemic too. I ran the bag up because pandemic, I was the only one. It's a takeout restaurant, so I'm open.
And everybody else closed.
Everybody closed. I'm talking about I have people driving 30 minutes away, 40 minutes away. I have a line out there. People just like, yo, can we get some more? Can you open up till later? I'm like, nah, it's a curfew. They was talking about you got to shut down at a certain time. So it helped out. Everything helped out, But I learned the business there. I learned the restaurant industry right there. I was going to get food shopping. I was doing the labor. I was making sure who's getting paid what, my cooks, my chefs.
Yep.
And, sometimes they walked out. I had to go get in there and grill and, cook it up.
I know that's right.
I had to get in the register when it got packed. I had to clean the floor sometimes.
Listen.
You know what I'm saying? So I had to do those things. Yo, as entrepreneurs, if you're not willing to do the work, yo, you cannot tell someone to do the job that you won't do yourself.
You gotta mop the
lead by
floors,
example.
You gotta take the trash.
Yes.
And sometimes, you know, we feel like we too big for that.
That's the key to my success. I don't care if y'all know me from anywhere, I put the work in.
I know
I'm
that's
still
right.
putting the work in. You know what I'm saying? And I will teach that at every given moment. You gotta put the work in. If you wanna see someone else do the work for you, you gotta be able to show them that you can do it. Even Spice House, when we opened up Spice House, you know, a new restaurant lounge, usually most of the owners be chilling like in a corner with a couple of bottles, with a couple of bad chicks, you know what I'm saying, bad joints, and it's cut, looking all cool. Not me. I'm behind a bar, I'm on the floor cleaning tables, I'm hosting, making sure people good, I'm making sure people
Going
food
around
is
to
on
every
time.
table.
I'm doing everything
How
that we
you
need to do.
doing? What you need?
Yes, and they're
You
like,
need
you
me to
work
get my
here?
server?
Yeah, they're like, y'all work here. And y'all don't need to tell me I'm an owner. No, I
Right.
need you to know that we are working.
Right.
We want this brand to be what we creating now. We
Exactly.
want longevity. Because of that right now, because of what I put in over there, we got the #1 hottest spot in Atlanta right now, and we have every
Yes.
celebrity comes in there. We have to comp their meal, without me have to call them, or without have them calling me, yo, we coming to your restaurant.
They just
Hey,
pull
we
up.
free food. Now they pulling up. You know, shout out to Julio Jones and Roddy White. They was at my spot like 3 days ago. And you know, everybody else been
Everybody
Spice House.
comes.
Yeah.
Everybody comes through the Spice
Everybody
House. I've
Spice
seen
House,
a
yeah.
little bit of everybody come through the Spice House.
We the who's for sure.
And I know you guys. Y'all have a couple locations, right?
Yeah, so we got 4 locations. I'm actually an owner. They always ask me if I'm on all of them. No, I'm not on all of them.
Right.
Because we got 3 partners, so 4 partners. The first location, my boy Elja, shout out to him. He actually brought the opportunity to me for Spice House Midtown. So me and him started Spice House Midtown together. Then I jumped on the one on Latonia with him. And
I've been there.
Yeah, so but after Latonia, I was just done. And they opened up.
Latonia is big.
Yeah, it was actually a strip club over there before.
Oh, it looked like it. It
used
got
to
the
be
high
like-
ceilings. I can see that.
Yeah. It was, and shout out to Shanara Johnson. He just passed away like not too long ago. He actually died of a car accident. He was the one that owned that strip club, but he blew that spot up. Like people knew about the spot. So when we got that opportunity to get that as a restaurant, and the owner wasn't going for nothing like that no more anyway. They wanted it to be like a real restaurant.
Gotcha.
So when we picked it up, it was like already, what they say, foot traffic was already there.
Yeah.
The brand was already there, and then, you know, once that actually opened up before Spice House Midtown. Because
Oh,
we
wow.
was working on Spice House Midtown was a big project. You see what we did to it. Like we had to really spend some money.
Yeah,
We
let's
had
talk
to
about
really
the
do that.
numbers. This week's episode is sponsored by ABCs for Rich Kids by 7-year-old author and entrepreneur Bryce Nicholas. Please tell us where we can find your book.
abcsforrichkids.com.
Awesome. This book is so amazing, guys. It literally goes from A to Z with different financial terms for your little loved ones. Awesome. So we've got F is for future value, E is for evaluation, H is for air. Guys, if you do not have this book, the Amazon #1 bestseller, please go and grab it now at abcsforrichkids.com.
So Spice House, project like Spice House, we say you open up a project like that, you're already looking at about $15,000, $20,000 a month lease. You know, so you're looking at it like if you have a project that you're building like Spice House, and it's going to take you about 6 months to 9 months to a year open up. Just do the math on rent.
So you're paying rent for 6-9 months.
Just off rip.
$20,000 a month.
Yeah, so you're doing like 120
Plus
right
the
there.
renovation. What kind of renovation was that?
Renovation, that was an old shack. It was an old building. So you talking about we did a full gut out. Like I got a video on my page out there. I posted. We did a full gut out. Like we spent over $500,000 on it on renovation.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I know they say that restaurants are like one of the easiest business to fail.
70% of the restaurants fail the first year.
Wow. And how long have you guys been open?
We already in the second year. 80% of the rest of the restaurant fail first 5 years. So 70% first year off rip, then the 80% after that.
Of
after
what's
5.
left.
And one of the key to that is the location. Because of the location, that's one of the downfall. But of course, everything comes into place because restaurant is just, it's too much. You gotta really like learn, understand, and because that's why I learned from inside, from outside to inside. I learned from the back of the house to inside the house. I'm still learning. I'm learning. I go places I acknowledge and I'm paying attention. And I'm paying attention to decorations. I'm paying attention to ambience. I'm paying attention to the food. I'm paying attention to the corners. I'm just learning, you know, because that's my industry now.
Right.
And you know, So that's
And I know
what,
you're also helping other people open and launch their restaurants.
yeah. So I have I did my course. Well, shout out to Justin Burns. I just finished my course with him, and the course is really for people just to understand if you're interested in the restaurant industry, what component come with that. So it give you enough idea, but the course is just for people to learn and see if they're interested. And then if they want to work with me, what I do, I actually facilitate people from step one all the way to step N with no end, but it's still like get you from the start process to the process where your restaurant is up and running. And even then I tell people, I can show you how to do this, I can help you how to do what I'm doing for myself, but you gotta do the work.
Can't do it for you.
Yeah, I can't do it for you. Ain't no DI for you, no. This ain't one of them businesses. This ain't no scam either. So this is something that you can have past your kids. I've seen restaurants stay and brands stay forever. So, if you want to be interested, if you're a culinary art student, if you're a cook, if you're just passionate for cooking, if you just know that you love food and you spend a lot of money like me, I used to spend money on food, like food and drinks. That was one of the reasons I opened Spice House. Like, yo, I'm gonna be in my own restaurant.
Right. I need to find somewhere where I can sit and chill.
Yeah. I need all the best dishes. I need the lobster mac. I need this pasta pasta. I need the
oh, that rice. That rice is my favorite.
Black
what is that black rice? Oh my gosh, that black rice is my favorite.
Yeah, so, and then that's another thing. Because of that business, establishment, Spice House Midtown, I always was branded. I was with relationships. So people came, but because of Spice House Midtown, I met more people like you, more entrepreneurs. Earn Your Leisure, shout out to Earn Your Leisure. They done been there a few times. When they come to the city, they always calling me, yo, Cash, we coming through deep. Shout out to David Shan. Shout out to just all the CEOs, CEO Circle. Shout out to everybody. They done came, supported the Spice House restaurant.
Yes.
They hearing. We making noise for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, we the entrepreneur hub.
Listen.
Entrepreneur hub for Atlanta.
Listen, I tell people, back in the day, celebrities used to be, you had to be like an A-list celebrity to be somebody.
Mm-hmm.
This day and age is crazy because the entrepreneurs are like the new celebrities.
It's crazy you said that because I had some celebrity just reached out to me recently and came sat down with me because I was recommended to them by someone.
Right.
And that same person, I was gonna pay them $40,000 a year ago to do a post for me. And they just reached out to me and I just closed the deal with them. So that's coming soon. When I get that deal closed, I'll let y'all know. Y'all see though. Y'all see. Yeah, we going there.
Well, I love your story because, like me, you came from New Jersey.
Yep.
I want to say Brick City, but Jersey City, not Brick City, right?
Now, Jersey City, Brick City is right around the corner. They really like 7-minute drive, but Jersey City is the 6th city from New York City, meaning, but Jersey City, the way Jersey City right now, if y'all don't know about Jersey City has the most expensive real estate in New Jersey. Jersey City, you can't buy land no more. You got to build the air. You got to go like New York City.
Right.
So Jersey City don't have no land. So the growth for Jersey City was when 9/11 happened. All the businesses moved from Exchange Place from New York City to Jersey City by the water. Because when 9/11 happened, we was in high school. We watched the buildings collapse. Because my high school sits on the hill, so they sent us home. But I watched like the buildings go down. So that's how close New York City and Jersey City is. For people don't know, like I used to go to sell candy in New York City.
Right across the Hudson River, right?
It's Hudson River, and like I could see from this side of the river to the other side is like New York City. Yeah. So and then the Holland Tunnel take you to New York City, and the train is like 5 minutes to get you to New York City. So I would say I have more of my parties and everything is in New York City. Like that's why I stay. But now Jersey City is like the number one corporate city. And
I know a lot of big banks are there.
Big banks.
A lot of big companies.
Yes. And then the people who got work in New York City, they moved from New York City to Jersey City. They live in Jersey.
It's cheaper to live in Jersey
than New York.
It's a little cheaper,
yes. And then taxes are a little cheaper still.
Gotcha.
So even buying property, you're not gonna buy in New York City. You want to be like in Jersey City.
Right.
Yeah.
So before I let you go, I know you're working on some real estate. Y'all, entrepreneurs are multifaceted, right? When it comes to building wealth, it's not only what you do with your hands, but what you do with your money.
That's right.
So let's talk about some of the investments that you've been making with your commercial real estate, because that's literally my next goal is commercial real estate.
So this year, beginning of January, I had opportunity to go get this Cuban link chain. It was like $100,000, right? And then I was thinking like I'm gonna go get that because I wanted one. You know what I'm saying? I like jewelry. So my boy, shout out to Beyond Win. He had posted this property online. It was on Instagram, and it was a big building, like 12 unit, and commercial space downstairs. I'm like, yo, how much it could be possibly. Let me just check, because I like Cleveland. I've been in Cleveland. I actually been going to Cleveland since 2007. I know Cleveland got baseball, basketball, and football. So you have LeBron who came from Cleveland.
Right.
Cleveland Clinic Hospital, number 2 hospital in the world, which Oprah Winfrey, all your most richest people go over there. That's where they go to. So I'm like, yo, Cleveland have a potential. Of course, when LeBron left, it's kind of slowed down, but LeBron brought a lot of money to the city. So when Beyond posted that building, I'm like, yo, how much you selling the building? They had it on a contract for 130, but I think it never closed for the clients that had it.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, man, listen, these guys, they just want to do a cash offer. I think they told me like 130. I was like, listen, I got 90 cash. What's up? I was gonna go get this Cuban link chain, but I want this building. And
right.
the building is like a brick foundation. That's all what it is.
It's just a shell.
It's
just
shell.
A brick shell.
Right? This is a big 12-unit commercial space downstairs. But I was more intrigued with that is because I know, coming from where I come from, even just seeing people that's doing all the changes in Jersey cities, they turn into multi-level and they're only going up.
Mm-hmm.
Having multiple doors is the best income. This is the best income. I don't care if you have one house, you can make $3,000 a month, whatever the rent. Your mortgage might be $2,500, you're making $500 profit. But this building potential was, I'm paying 90, I get a full 100% rehab loan from the bank, right? They'll give me a 100% loan. I don't have to pay nothing out of pocket. My budget could be $350,000, $400,000. By the time I'm done, $400,000, I'm in $490.
Mm-hmm.
The same building would generate me at least $12,000 a month. So there's no way in the country you could get $12,000 a month on a property
under $500,000.
Under $500,000.
Right.
And have 12 doors. So if one of them tenants bullshitting, they're not paying. I got 11 doors still collecting money.
Right.
So you don't have to go through red tape. So that's what that's how my mom was thinking. Generational wealth is multi-unit is always better than single family. That's just what it is. We can have a debate about it. I don't want to be a part of it, but I know for me, my mind thinks like the way it thinks. So I got that building, and I didn't do nothing with it. Then they had another one opportunity available. It was 9-unit. You know, I ran up the bag, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pay some taxes this year. Don't be thinking I'm paying some hell of taxes this year. It's gonna be one of them years. You know, she gotta do my taxes too. You know, she's my CPA too. But listen, I gotta pay some money. But the second unit was a 9-unit, and it was in a better shape than the first one.
Okay.
And I ended up buying that for a little cheaper than even the first one.
Really?
Yeah. And that's the one that got a barbershop and a corner store. So
wow.
So the first building
So the businesses are already open?
It was open to close now, but you
gotcha.
know, like it's not as much as rehab like the first one.
Gotcha.
So the first building, I'm gonna put a ghost kitchen space downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take all the people that's coming out of jail.
So how do you make money as a ghost kitchen?
Rent them out, rent out space.
So you just rent out the time.
You rent out like if you want to rent out a studio.
So like if I'm a chef,
yeah.
Oh, like you rent out a studio,
yeah.
I just pay hourly to come
yeah,
in and
yeah. But you set up the times you want to be there. So you
right.
want to come in the morning, I come at nighttime. I got 2
So
shifts
you don't even
in.
have a real business to run there. You just
it's all delivery. All is delivery. So and like I said, I'm definitely doing that because I think places like that is needed. There's not a lot of ghost spaces over there. So I want to go to the places like Cleveland and others.
Where you can help build a community around it. Yeah. So you're bringing resources.
And even my 10-unit upstairs, instead of just going to a regular tenant, I'm going to do Airbnb. Or I might do roomings, you know what I'm saying, for people that want to come in. And so I don't have to worry about kicking nobody out. They're not paying room rent. I'll just rather
do month to month, or day to day, week to week.
I just need to rent the unit out for 10 days out of the month to make $1,000. And that's all my goal is. Each unit, $1,000. Commercial unit, I'm gonna get like $1,500 to $2,000. But if I did my commercial space the way I'm saying ghost kitchen, I'll make like $10,000, $15,000 a month over there. You know?
Right.
So the goal is to just generate as much as income on that one building. Cash, yeah.
That's why your name.
That's it. So that first building, then I got the 9-unit, that's closed already. Right now, I got a 3rd building on lockdown. I just got it on contract. I got to close next week, but I ain't gonna lie. Listen, I am cash, but shit, funds is low right now. So if y'all looking for some partnership, come on in.
Let me know.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me know. Talk to me.
Oh yeah, but that's a 12-unit. I got the negotiated price to only $80,000. You know what I'm saying? And
that's
the rehab.
Crazy.
I know. Yeah, I'm a negotiator. But you know what? I'm buying though. I'm closing. I'm closing one deal. Beyond closed a deal with me. Other homeboys see me on Instagram, reached out to me with this property. He don't even live in there. He live in Columbus. The 3rd building, the dude live in New York. But because I'm closing deals,
Yeah.
you know, I say what I do,
Right.
and I do what I
So
say.
now we got to get them to completion and cash flow.
That's it. The thing is, that's not the hard part. The hard
Yeah, I
part
know
is just
the
get the
hard-
cash, to get the money, get the building. Because
Right.
once you got the building, you have what they call a collateral.
Yeah.
A bank will give me a loan to fix the building because they know they have nothing to lose.
Yep.
Because the
Well,
building
because
is
they
paid
can
for.
always take the building
They can always
back.
take the building back. And
Yep.
the building is paid for cash, and building is worth something. So they don't have no. So instead of collecting down payment on a percentage for you to get a loan from bank, they're like, nah, I'll give you 100% finance. So I'm about to do a blanket loan. One of my Playmaker Tuesdays that I do in Atlanta, every twice a month, right? At Spice House, I've built so many new relationships. So it's twice a month, a second Tuesday and a fourth Tuesday. So y'all go to my page and y'all gonna, when I Playmaker Tuesday, she brought me one of her, she was at the spot one day and I met Menti. She actually is a mentee now, so she's working.
Where
on
my affiliate at?
Listen, that was a family affiliation right there. That was one of the, but now I kind of just like her, so I didn't really like, you know, people charge for mentorship. I wanted to work with her. I wanted to see her grow from the time that I linked with her to what she's doing now.
And she's killing it.
She killing it.
She got multiple cars.
Yeah,
she's talking about real estate. I know she's talking about moving to Atlanta.
Yes, she's coming out here. She got a daughter over. So, like I say, I also been documenting the process. Shout out to my boy Matty J. This is the reason I'm even here, because I'm more like a doer, and I'm more like a person that always made money for doing what I did. So I never really cared about internet like that until, of course, I met Matty. Matty's like, yo, Cash, your page look good. Everybody knows you. They know you.
Gotta monetize.
You gotta monetize because people look up to you, and you know. Why don't you just teach what you're doing? I'm like, you know, but yeah, that's one of the reasons that I'm doing everything. So yeah, right now we're building this brand and building these businesses, but I want to help as much as people. I want to be able to document the process, and I want to show people. It took me 20 years to be where I'm at. I could work with you for a good year, and I could get you close as possible to what I'm doing. But it took me 20 years. So that's what we're working on.
Got you. So Playmaker Tuesdays
twice a month.
Twice a month. You met your.
I met the lender that's gonna go ahead and give me the loan to finish those 3 buildings. So he said, yo, you already paid for them, give me a full rehab budget, breakdown, and I'll get you a loan. And you know, I finance it 100%. And I got a construction team out there so close, so you know, I'm gonna get that done in 3 buildings. If it takes 6-7 months, whatever. By the time I'm done, I only gotta pay interest for a couple of months because they give me like interest-free for a few months anyway.
Right.
By the time I'm paying them 3-4 payments, I'm gonna go to a regular conventional commercial bank, and at that time, I already have everybody lined up. So the minute I finish these projects, I already got people that's gonna wanna do subleasing for me that wanna do Airbnb for their spot.
Right.
So let's say if you wanna get 5
So if you
units,
already have your leases.
I got my leases, they're gonna
Once
be a
you
loan.
have your leases in place, you can get your loan, no
Done.
problem.
I got all my leases done already.
Yeah.
And I ain't get leases from people out there. I got people from overseas wanna do my leases.
Wow.
Because they just know the potential.
Oh, I love that. Because they're going to want to do multiple year leases.
They're
going to
doing
want like
multiple
5, 10
and
year
they're doing
leases.
5 units. They're not doing 1 unit. They gave me give me 5 units in this bill.
You know what? I heard I saw some on Instagram recently that were talking about people trying to get into the Airbnb business. And they said,
It's shutting it
you
down.
know why these commercial places don't want you in their building? Because you're coming to them saying, hey, I'm Shaniqua Nicole and I want to lease 1 apartment from you. No, you got to come and say, I'm Shaniqua Nicole Enterprises
Acquisition.
and I want a whole floor.
Yes.
I
you gotta do
want
that.
5 units. I want 10 units. And then you're presenting yourself more like
a business, an entity that can trust you, because they don't want to give you a lease and your Airbnb.
And you disturbing the peace of their tenants.
You are. And so now if you're not, if you acquire my whole building, let's say if you say, yo, Cash, I want the whole 10 unit. You give me a lease, I say $1,000 a unit, and you can be making $20,000, $30,000 a month. My bank is only looking at the lease that I got with you. They're giving me my money based
off of that. And that's all you want.
That's all I want.
Because you don't want to have to run businesses.
Nah, I ain't trying. I mean, only business I will run, like I said, the commercial space, I'll run them all. Because I'm a businessman. I will put one of my little homie out there from here, like, yo, go out there 6 months, go sit down in this corner shop. We're going to put a hookah smoke shop down there. And you know what I'm saying? I'm going to facilitate everything from here today, and you just go sit there and work. So, you know, we're going to build a neighborhood. We want to open up some more spaces over there. We want people to move on to these buildings because, like I said, they've been sitting up there for 15, 20, 25 years.
Right.
But we want to build these condos. We want to turn these buildings. We want a person from the hood that got Section A be able to live in a comfortable, stainless steel appliances, and, you know, even experience that in the hood, you know. So we want to be able to help the community as much as we can.
I love it. I love it, love it. Well, brother King Salim Cash, I appreciate you for dropping in today.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming through to the event, the launch of the magazine.
Yes, that was amazing.
And
I loved it.
Thank you for dropping all this knowledge about real estate, restaurants, We didn't even talk about how much money y'all making in restaurants, but with the money that you spent,
Yeah.
I know you gotta be.
Nah, we put it like this. We for a restaurant industry, yes, it is a 70% loss his first year, but one thing I am teaching and educating everybody is for me and for myself is learning and understanding your cost. So the cost is your main component. You have to understand what are you spending your money. Because I know restaurants are making $500,000 a month, right? That's six million a year, and they probably profiting like maybe
Couple $100,000.
$300,000 to $600,000 probably. So I'd rather make $100,000 and take home $30,000 a month, right? Than making $250,000 and making $20,000 a month.
30% margin versus like a 2% or something.
Rough. And then the restaurant industry, you're supposed to have a good restaurant industry, good restaurant, you're supposed to do a little bit between 17. Great is 25%. Like if you could take it, so you're doing $1 million a month, you're taking 200,000, like you're in good shape.
You're in good shape.
Yeah.
Got you.
So you want to profit. You don't want to keep working and say, I got this, I got that.
Right.
Yo, your stream ain't streaming. You got to stream your stream. You got to make your money. I don't want to have 5 businesses and I'm broke. I don't want to do that. I want to have one business and make that money and then go get 4 more businesses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's the beautiful thing about growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like we've done all this work. We've learned so many things. And I'm just so grateful that we're in a day now where we can help other people get to the end point a whole lot quicker than it took us,
and
right?
It's easier. It's a lot easier. Right now, just things that I know we went through. We had to grind. Like the grind.
There were no mentors.
Yeah,
back
no
then.
mentor. And then it just, and it was good for me because I loved it. I went through that phase and I'm about to go through the phase right now what I'm going through. I'm about to run numbers on y'all. Listen, it's about to be a fucking play. Like I'm not playing. Like watch this face. Get used to this face. Because this internet, I'm just jumping into this internet world. And mark my word, this technology and everything, and these systems and everything that's facilitated, we really had to get it the hard way, for real. Y'all got it so easy. And I see a bunch of young millionaires right now. I got a couple of people around me, they're 24, 25, they got $1 million.
Oh,
For us to make $1 million,
so
it was
inspiring.
like, it was impossible. It took us probably it was hard, for especially the environment we coming from. We didn't have these tools and resources. But yes, so I ain't trying to get 10 million no more. I want 100 million. I'm good on 10. I wanted 10 like 2-3 years ago. I want 100.
Right.
So real estate portfolio, I'll be able to sell my portfolio in the next 5 years for like 30, 40 million. My restaurant portfolio, I'm gonna be able to sell that for 15, 20 million. So I'm already thinking about 5-year retirement plan.
100 million.
Yes, 100 million portfolio.
I love it.
And Cash brand is not going for sale. That's stamped. It's staying right here. You can't buy this brand. Cash is stamped.
The official Playmaker, Cash in the building. Man, y'all make sure you guys tune in to the next episode of Black Wealth Weekly, where you will be blessed to learn from some amazing CEOs, entrepreneurs, and artists that are out here killing it in their space. Today, got my brother Cash with me. Let the people know where they can follow you.
So I'm at Instagram right now at 5 Stars Investments, FIVE Stars S Investments, and you'll be able to Google 5 Star Investments, and I'll be able to pop up everywhere. So we working on that right now, SEOs and stuff. So yes, and restaurant course coming soon. I'll be dropping it. It's called Sold Out Restaurants. All right, soldoutrestaurants.com. Just look out for that course. You already know what's going down.
Let's go. That's my brother Cash. I'm Shaniqua Nicole, the Millennial Money Maven. I appreciate you guys for tapping in. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching this week's episode of Black Wealth Weekly. I'm your host, Shaniqua Nicole, and I hope to see you next week. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on them notifications, and head to blackwealthweekly.com where you can read all the new episodes of these entrepreneurs and so many others.